Hold on.
You are now the jury in the matter of Hillgrove versus Morris.
When they say jury of your peers, I think that's accurate.
Part 2.
Okay, yeah. Let's call the cops. But I don't trust any of you. You shook the flashlight at my side of the table. Yeah, you and the orange mouse girl were standing right here when it happened. So I know neither of you are the killer. Take this. He gave Yan the spare flashlight. Go call 911. Tell them where we are. Tell them a man is dead. I've got to narrow down to 3 suspects. As Yan made her way to the store phone, I tried to explain.
You want the first part of the story? You got to go back to the other video, New Mexico.
Dude, Bart said,
This is the second part.
Really sucks. Yeah, I know. You 3 shut
And
up.
it's not Dr. K.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this, one way or another. Owen! Yan called, a note of fear lining the edge of her voice. Yeah? The phones are dead. Of course. Of course the night is unfolding like this. Why should I even be surprised that it's happening all over again? What? He left us in the dark and headed towards Yan. As soon as he was out of whisper range, Lucy leaned forward and quietly asked, "Okay, guys, what's really going on?" I leaned forward to whisper back, "I legitimately don't know."
Oh,
Someone
Big
else
K.
with us?
Gotcha.
Possible.
Story. I also have some add in because I had Elkhart PD here again, and I think we got the trailer issue solved, but we'll see. But here's part 2
Forget about how you just
of the Monday Nightmare.
standing in the supply closet. Was that some kind of temporary insanity? Possession? There were too many possibilities and not nearly enough time for me to form a good plan. Owen was back before I knew it. All right, let's work this out. You, delivery guy, where were you when the man was stabbed? Bart answered matter-of-factly, "I was hiding." Why? "I saw a gun come out. I don't get paid enough to take a bullet." Owen flicked the light at me. "What about you?" I answered, "I also don't get paid enough to take a bullet." "You know what I mean, smartass." I made a phone call, then I went to see if I could find the raccoons. "Interesting," he said, turning that simple word into an implicit accusation. "How is that interesting?" Lucy asked. "The phone was sabotaged. Someone cut the line out of the wall. It looks like they used a knife to do it. You're saying you were the last one to use the phone. Is it possible that the killer waited for you to hang up, sliced the cable, and then snuck past you and killed the old man?" I shrugged. Owen kept it up. He was wearing one of those stupid face masks. But it was already bloody when we got here. What's the story behind that? Jerry laughed. "Oh, that was me. He was acting a fool, so I cracked his face chimney like a boss." Owen turned the light to Jerry, who had at some point pulled his own sharp-toothed smiling mask back up over his face. Owen asked, "Are you prone to violent outbursts?" Bart chimed in. "Come to think of it, you did tackle me pretty hard." "Thank you," Jerry responded. I could see which way the wind was blowing, and I didn't like it. See, Jerry had been acting strangely for most of the night, but I knew him well enough to know that he was innocent. I also knew him well enough to know that he was the worst person to advocate for his own innocence. "Owen," Yan called. "What?" "Take a look at this." He left us once again to join the woman standing in the center of the room with her flashlight pointed at the code green box. Lucy whispered, "I don't like this. The guy's unhinged. He shouldn't be in charge." Bart leaned forward and put his head in his hands. "This is so fucked. I just want to go home." "What about the rest of your shift?" I asked, trying to keep the mood up. "There's no rest of my shift, man. I just said that so you guys would let me get out of here. Everybody I work with knows the rules. This is what I get for breaking them." That was another unexpected curveball. "What do you mean?" "Gas station is always the end of the route. When I started working, everybody told me the same thing about this place. Get in, get out. Never start a conversation with the workers. Never stay longer than necessary. Never go to the bathroom. I got paid double to run this route because no one else wants to do it. I just assumed it's because this gas station is the middle of clan country. Now I'm sitting here waiting for Mr. Good Guy with a gun to decide my fate. For real, fuck this town and everyone in it." "Hey," Owen yelled, "no talking." "Yes, sir, boss," Bart shouted sarcastically. We sat in somber silence until he returned to the table with box in his hands and Yen by his side. He reached inside the kit, pulled out the pack of surgical masks, and dropped them onto the table. It appeared as if someone had taken a knife to the pack, slicing holes through the lot of them. Someone is sabotaging our supplies. Yen asked, "Who would do something like this, and why?" "I don't know," Owen answered, "but I intend to find out." They both immediately turned around and pointed their lights at the sound of something crashing loudly to the bathroom. "Go check that out," Owen said. "Are you crazy?" Yen answered. "That's where the body was! You go check that out!" "And leave the killer unguarded?" Owen looked at her, then at us, then at the bathroom, then at the gun. With a short sigh, he made the difficult but responsible decision to hand his weapon over to Yen while he courageously went to check out the noise by himself. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? No. Instead, Owen decided to go for the Asshole of the Year award and ordered me out of the booth to be his literal human shield. As we left the others behind, he promised the group that he'd shoot anyone who tried anything funny. Then, with the barrel of his gun stabbing me in the back, he went to check out the noise. I clocked the baseball bat still sitting on the ground in the hallway where I dropped it. But even if I was crazy enough to make a go for it, the west side of the bathroom. As I approached the door, Owen pulled the gun out of my back and rested it on my shoulder, then shoved me forward with his elbow. He stayed right behind me as the flashlight reached the inside of the bathroom. Just as I had suspected, the culprits were fattened, furry trash pandas. There were only 3 of them, which was somehow way scarier than all 4 of them. One had evidently torn the soap dispenser from the wall, the source of that crashing noise, and a rather impressive feat on its own. It was leaning over, front paws in the soap puddle, lapping it up by the mouthful. Gross. But not nearly as gross as the other 2 raccoons, the ones hunched over in the corner, greedily licking the puddle of human blood. As if blood-hungry raccoons weren't bad enough, I noticed that something important was missing from this picture. Right, I guess. Someone. The body of Abram was nowhere to be found, and I was nearly positive that these animals couldn't have carried him off on their own. They all moved in perfect unison, licking the floor, suddenly stopping once they realized they were being watched, slowly lifting their heads, slowly turning to face us. "Hey guys," I said with a wave. "Did any of you see the body of a bearded man?" The animal sprung at us, teeth first. Owen shoved me to the ground and screamed. His light hit the floor, bounced against the wall, and started spinning, giving the hallway an intense strobe light effect. "What is that? Oh my God! Are you okay? Look out!" For some inexplicable reason, the others decided that it would be a great idea to rush towards us. Owen screamed like a baby and then... Oh shit, what the? Oh my God! The room smelled like gunfire. The raccoon jumped onto my lap and launched itself down the hallway. Owen cursed and picked up the flashlight and cursed some more. Then he aimed at me and he aimed it back at the others. Then my blood ran cold. Oh my God, oh fuck. "Hold your hands right there." Shit. "Put pressure over the wound." Yen, Lucy, and Jerry were all standing over Bart. He was on his back, feeling blood on his hands and all over his polo shirt. Owen turned away from them and pointed the flashlight back at me. "God damn it," he muttered. Yen shouted his name. "Owen, shine the flashlight over here." He waited a few seconds, took a loud breath, and then did so. Bart's eyes were rolling back into his head. Jerry had his hands clamped firmly over the wound on Bart's stomach. Lucy had specks of blood all over her face. Yen stood up and shouted, "We need gauze and medical kits. Whatever you have, please, right now." As I pushed myself back to my feet, Owen blurted, "He came right at me. You saw it. He came running straight at me." His voice ticked up an octave. "Why did you do that? I warned you. Did you hear me? You all heard me tell him to stay back, and he ran right at me." I shoved the door open to the supply closet. In the complete dark of the room, I was forced to navigate by memory. I reached for the space where the code yellow kit should have been, grabbed the whole box, and brought it out in the hallway. When I hit the ground next to the others, Owen was still blathering. "It's not my fault. It was an accident. He came charging at me. Does he have a weapon on him?" Lucy snapped at him with the venom in her words. "What? Check his pockets. He probably has a weapon. He was probably..." "Shut up!" He did. For now. I handed the supplies over to Yen, who apparently knew her way around a med kit better than me. As she ripped open the bag of clotting powder with her teeth, I asked, "Are you some kind of doctor or something?" "Or something," she said, following it quickly with instructions for Jerry to move his hands. She stayed working for what felt like forever, but apparently only about 30 seconds. I couldn't really watch. Not because I was bothered by violence, but because I was steadily recalculating my chances of getting to that baseball bat without Owen noticing. She put her hand to Bart's neck, presumably to check his pulse, then announced, "We need to get him to a hospital." "Okay," Jerry said, popping to his feet. "I'll make a run for Lucy's car and bring it up to the door. Probably got the best night vision and the most experience driving in the dark without headlights. Lucy, Kimi." Owen immediately shot down that idea like it was an innocent alcohol vendor. "Oh no, you are not." Lucy stood up and took a step forward, only stopping when Owen pointed the gun at her. "What's your problem?" she shouted. "We don't know who killed that man, and I'm not letting a murderer out of my sight. You," he pointed the gun at Jerry, "and you," he pointed the gun at me. "Get up, move over here." He herded us into the hallway with his weapon, leaving Bart clinging precariously to life. Yen tried to reason with him. "Owen, we don't have time for this. We need to get help. I can't let them out of my sight." His gun was shaking wildly. The one pointed right at me. The one with a finger on the trigger. Jerry's voice was noticeably calmer than the situation deserved. With bloody palms extended forward, he said, "Hey, dude, relax. Nobody here thinks you're an incompetent man baby with a gun. We're all gonna be like the Fonz, okay? And you know what the Fonz is? He's cool. You know what's cooler than cool? The cooler. Yeah, like the walk-in cooler." "What?" he snapped. "Why don't you put Jack and me inside the walk-in cooler? Then you can take the chair behind me and the counter and barricade us inside. We do it all the time whenever we need to detain people until the cops arrive, right, Jack? That way you know you're safe. You can hand that gun over to somebody with better aim and use that CB radio and..."
Some grocery prices are 20% higher than last year. Lose weight and spend smarter with Nutrisystem.
Over to somebody with better aim and use that CB radio in the supply closet to call for help. I was
Hey, Pamela, how you doing?
by how completely reasonable that plan sounded. Owen's hand was shaking a little less now. "Well," I said, "it's not the worst idea."
Apparently, we have
Yo,
some fake
all right.
people in here, but
No
that's
funny
all
business.
right.
Jerry,
Pamela, this is just a spooky story. This is part 2. If you wanna do the whole thing, you got to go back to part 1 and listen, and then do part 2. But it's up to you.
As soon as the cooler door shut behind us, all sound and light went away. For a moment, I felt like it entered a sensory deprivation chamber, but
Pamela,
my ears acclimated.
the Elkhart
and I could hear my
Police
coworker
Department
breathing.
was here again today. I had Sergeant Huff here, and Sergeant Huff is actually entertaining buying this trailer from me and putting a dump trailer next to it, and I told him I'd shovel it out of there. I'd do the labor, and then he could have the trailer, but we'll get back into that later. Let's just,
I said.
we're just listening to our story right now.
Unfortunately, there's no way to break out of here. Walls are 8 inches thick, which means they probably can't even hear us out there.
Love you, Pamela.
Even if we did manage to break out, that D-bag would probably shoot us the second that he saw us. I hate to say it, but this might actually be the best we can do. Just sit here and...
But yeah, I think Sergeant
Trying to
Huff
save Bart.
from the Elkhart Police Department has cured our problem with the trailer.
Bart's a goner. You don't know that.
Love you, Pam.
Trust me. I saw the wound.
Love you, my girl, and I appreciate you.
Really too bad. I like that guy. I didn't know what to say. So I said nothing. Jerry had said all he needed to say, so he also said nothing. When the cigarette was gone, we stayed in silence until something scraped against the floor on the other side of the cooler. I almost didn't want to ask, what was that? You heard it too, huh? Hey, Jerry? Yeah? Yeah? I almost forgot to mention this, but when I looked...
If you guys missed the first part of the story, go
David
back
wasn't there anymore.
to the
don't
other
worry.
one,
That wasn't actually
but whatever.
Wasn't? No.
This is part
What
2.
was it? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. You heard another scrape. This one's slightly louder, slightly closer. Jerry? Yeah? Is there something you wanted to tell me? Oh, right. About that. Another scrape. Only a few feet away. Are we in danger right now? Yeah. Yeah, we are. I reached into my hoodie pocket and inspected my inventory. I had a lighter, can of bug spray, which meant that I had an emergency flamethrower. I had Bert's cell phone, which meant that I had a flashlight. This was quite the dilemma. How to proceed. Jerry, I'm about to turn on a flashlight. Should I just accept that there is another ridiculous jump scare waiting for us the moment the room is lit up? That'd be a fair assumption. Okay. Okay, then. Let's do this. I turned on the flashlight and held it out in front of me. A few feet away from us stood a unicorn. More specifically, a man wearing the unicorn mask, a man with a smoker-stained yellow beard poking out from underneath. A man who looked an awful lot like Abram. He stood upright, gazing into our souls with unicorn eyes, copious amounts of blood staining the front of his shirt. And the handle of a knife protruding from the center of his chest. Come on, man, you do it, I argued. No way, you're already missing a
It was
finger.
Huff.
You do it, Jerry argued back. How does that
Chris,
make
it was
me
Huff.
qualified to pull off his mask? I'm just saying, if he bites you, you got a little less to lose. Well, maybe it's your turn to lose a digit. We've been standing in the cooler for about 5 minutes, bickering back and forth. The blood-soaked thing in the unicorn mask had been right there with us the whole time, standing, completely still, like it was some kind of mix-and-match Halloween decoration. The phone battery was getting low, and the last thing I wanted was to be stuck in the dark with whatever this was. Jerry and I both agreed that it would be a wise course of action to remove the mask and see what we were dealing with. We disagreed on how to do it. All right, Jerry said, lighting yet another cigarette. How about this? We play rock, paper, scissors. Loser has to remove the mask. No way. Why not? Because you always pick rock. You've never not picked rock. And if we play and I beat you, and then you remove the mask and get your hand bitten off, I'm gonna feel really guilty. Aw, he said. Thanks. How about we just pull it off together on the count of 3? All right. We both crept closer to the unicorn. I stayed perfectly still. Together we reached out and grabbed the mask by either side. Okay, I said. On the count of 3. Okay. I took a deep breath. My heart was beating like crazy. I didn't know what to expect, but no matter what it was, I was not ready. Regardless, I started to count. 1, 3, Jerry yelled, ripping the mask off. We both took a step back. Oh, I said. This is probably the least surprising thing possible. Just a good old dead Abram. Lips slightly parted, eyes wide open, face pale, devoid of life. Jerry sounded almost disappointed. Well, that was stupid. I tried talking to the dead man, even though I knew that wasn't going to work. Hey, Mr. Abram? Can you hear me? A low croak escaped his mouth. At least I thought it wasn't going to work. What? What did he just say? I asked. Jerry dropped the cigarette onto the floor and stomped it out. I think he said, to blave. That mean anything to you? Abram's head cocked back slightly as another hoarse noise began spilling out of his throat. The sound was somewhere between an annoyed cow and an angry frog. A rancid smell like vinegar and onions filled the air. Jerry visibly gagged and pulled his mask back over his mouth. Feel better? He asked Abram. I wasn't expecting a response. In fact, I was very much hoping there wasn't going to be a response. But sure enough, the response we had, it felt like he was sounding out the words to the Macarena. Very, very slowly. To my ears, it was just creaky gibberish. But then hand gestures got involved. The Abram abomination lifted both hands up to the handle of the knife and wrapped all of his fingers around it. I thought he was going to pull it out, but I was wrong. He continued to mumble hard syllables, and as he forced the knife downward, ripping his chest wide open and spilling wet, gooey intestines all over the floor in a steaming pile. Green dots the size of sugar ants skittered forth from inside his open wound cavity. They crawled away from the sliding blade and took flight, filling the air with a swarm of infant green mayflies. The knife reached the bottom of his beer belly, but it was only a short snag. The thing continued to disembowel itself, cutting straight down through the belt and causing the pants to fall to the ground. More and more of those bugs dropped and crawled out of him. Some were even flying out directly. At this point, I realized, to my dismay, that the guts on the floor were squirming, rich with life, with those baby insects. It seemed that Abram's blood was thick and lousy with mayfly larvae. I didn't even realize that we were moving away until our backs hit the cooler door. I kept my eyes on Abram as I banged on the door as hard as I could. My hair was itching now. Those baby mayflies were landing on me, crawling into my nose and ears and getting caught in my eyelashes. Whenever they piled too thick over the phone, I'd flick my wrist and send a miniature green dust cloud into the air that hovered and reamassed and settled onto the phone again. Only when the knife had gone as far as Abram could push it did I realize I needed to start doing something if I didn't want to end up like him. Or worse. I brought out the can of bug spray and yelled, "Hold your breath!" and started blasting. The amassment of green died on impact, plummeting to the ground in thick clumps like wool being sheared from the sky. As they died, the body of Abram seemed to react, launching its head back and screaming in a voice like a fork scraping against a glass plate. The noise ended abruptly as a lump the size of a gumball pressed against his neck from the inside, working its way up from his stomach until it emerged from Abram's open mouth. I stopped spraying. The game had just changed, and I didn't want to play anymore. I turned around and banged on the door with enough force to bruise my hands, elbows, and one of my knees, but I knew that it was all for naught. They couldn't hear us out there, and the door was not opening unless someone on the other side deemed it so. I slowly turned back to face what was waiting. The thing
What was
had
waiting?
started evacuating Abram's mouth.
Oh my God.
About 3 inches of needle legs, green armadillo scales, and 2 bulging eyes crawled up Abram's face.
Oh my God.
I knew it! Jerry laughed. What? What do you know? What could you possibly know? The legs operated in waves like those of a millipede, and when the entire half-foot of horror had finally emerged, it left Abram's mouth in the sound of a wet thunk. The old man's body shell instantly went ragdoll and collapsed in a heap on top of its guts, and the demon millipede rolled into a ball and launched itself towards us. Jerry went left, I went right, the phone escaped my grip, and the light hit the floor. I heard the millipede ram into the door and bounce off of it, and then I lost track of it.
Oh
Jerry
shit.
screamed,
Oh shit.
and pointed. I turned just in time to see it scaling the wall before leaping at me. Suddenly, the floor whipped out from under my feet, and I hit a pile of human debris ass first. I'd accidentally slipped in a puddle of Abram, and not a second too
Sorry,
soon,
Pamela.
the green bug whizzed over my
I'm
head.
just.
Great. Zoinks! Jerry yelled. I looked up to see the millipede
Sorry.
had landed and attached itself to him at stomach level.
Oh my God.
Not great.
Now
I
what?
got to my feet and
Now
out
what?
Jerry's side as quickly as I could, but the millipede had already climbed about a foot up Jerry's body. I tried to get a hold, but the way it moved made it impossible. Each time a leg landed, the tip hooked into Jerry, through his shirt and into his flesh. Every time I pulled, I was pulling hundreds of needles. Each step it took left one hole and made
Oh.
it crawled up Jerry's chest and neck, leaving a
Oh.
trail of countless bleeding needle pricks. Shit, Jerry said, straining his eyes to watch the thing that had just passed his chin. I pulled out the lighter, flicked it on,
Somebody
and held the flame against the green
stop
shell. There
this.
was no effect.
Somebody stop
Shit.
it.
What's he doing now? Oh, gross.
Somebody help.
The millipede
Somebody
stopped
help.
and perched on top of Jerry's
Please
face.
help
Almost
somebody.
Like he was trying to figure out what it was looking at. I'd run out of good ideas by this point, so I just went with the brute strength, grabbed the millipede by its head, and yanked. I may as well have grabbed a broken glass bottle. The teeth or claws or whatever I touched ripped the flesh off my palm down to the bone. I instinctively fell onto the ground, hugging my hand as it squirted blood with enough force to make me consider doing something serious about my blood pressure if I somehow survived the night. I snapped out of it and played through the pain. Jerry was going to
Wait,
need help
what?
if... Oh, God. The millipede used the front 2 leg claws to slice a perfect slit over Jerry's mouth, then proceeded to crawl down his throat.
Oh my God. No. Hell no. Hell no.
It's hard to release.
Hell no.
Then he started exhaling in forceful
No,
snorts.
no, no,
Like he
no,
was
no,
working
no,
on
no,
me.
no, no.
Jerry? I said.
Jerry,
Are you okay?
how the fuck is Jerry gonna be
He
okay?
spat out a long, slimy stream of blood and then made a noise that sounded like. He lifted his head and looked at me. Through the tattered mask, I
Jerry,
could see a real smile on his face.
Jerry,
Jerry? His sounds turned into laughter.
Jerry, you're creeping me out.
His laughter turned into cackles. Jerry! He stood up. He wasn't looking at me anymore, and when he spoke, he spit froth out of his mouth. Yeah. You don't like that, do you, bitch? What's going on?
No, I don't like that at all, Jerry.
Is that
You're
inhospitable?
freaking me out,
He
Jerry.
punched himself in the stomach. How about now, huh? He punched himself again. Yeah, that's right, bitch. This is my house. Ain't nobody burning it down except for me. He lurched forward and he hit the ground, barely able to get his hands out in front of him in time to stop from the cracking open of his face on the floor. A huge spattering of red and green expelled forth from his mouth like we were in The Exorcist. The projectile vomit coated the floor, and in the center of the slop was the writhing body of the millipede. It flicked around a few times, then formed a ball
How the
and rolled away into a corner.
oh,
Jerry! I
oh.
screamed. Are you even fucking alive right now?
Right?
Have you?
How the fuck is Jerry alive?
My cigarettes?
What
I
the?
usually go for a smoke right about. Holy fuck, Jack! It's on your sleeve! What? I looked down and I saw the hell-spawn millipede racing up my arm. I grabbed at it, but the moment my fingers touched, the asshole latched in the needle legs. It hurt a lot worse than Jerry's reaction made it seem. But I suppose his tattoo collection probably
But-
gave him a better frame of reference for this.
Oh my God! Somebody.
If I had to think of something to compare it to, I'd say imagine being stabbed
Can somebody?
by
Oh my God!
pins and needles over and over again.
But
Yeah, it's really nothing comparable. Jerry pulled up his belt and flung it around the neck of the creature. As he pulled, the needles tore into my skin. He
What?
pulled again, hard enough to knock me off balance. I hit the
How
ground
the-
all over again, and the damn thing just deepened its grip. It was at my shoulder, the eyes staring right at my mouth. Blood, vomit, and bile dripping from its wet shell. Jerry tried yanking again, but this time the bug just clawed the belt in half. As
I
Jerry
mean,
tumbled to the ground, I realized
you need to
I was all out of luck.
do something
In
else.
my chin, I clenched my teeth together as tight as I could, tight enough that I was certain it'd shatter if I kept
You
it up.
really think
But
that's
the
gonna
millipede
help?
Didn't let me. It extended a pair of front legs and sliced the mask off
But
my face, and then
you gotta.
with two more legs, it pried open my lips. Then, with several legs, it grabbed hold of my front teeth and forced my mouth open. Jerry sat up and looked right at me as the thing plunged into my mouth and down my throat faster than I could bite. Pain ripped into me from everywhere. That was a close call.
Dude, you're fucked. No, it's not a close
I made
call.
it.
You're fucked. You're fucked.
Should have been so close.
You're
Never been
fucked.
this close before. Is it getting sloppy with my old age? No, I'm in my prime. It's these hosts. There's something wrong with them. They're not normal. Wait, hang
But-
on. What?
Wait,
Jerry,
wait.
help me to my feet.
Who?
Jack, listen. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Hey.
It's gonna be okay, okay?
No, it's not. Dude just went down my throat.
Fuck. What the hell's wrong with this one? These reaction times are pathetic, and what's going on with this leg? At least this is inhabitable. How can I hurt anyone with these weak hands? Wait, I know. I need to find that knife. I looked around for the knife
Wait,
Abram
what?
had stabbed himself with, but wait,
This is.
why was I looking for Abram's knife? How did I know that Abram stabbed himself? Oh, because I was there, of course. I was inside Abram when it happened. No, wait, no, I wasn't.
Hold the fuck on.
I was
Hold the
Abram.
fuck
I
on.
waited until I had all the
Hold on a
together
minute.
in one place. Then I went and began the harvest. I needed my children to have something to eat when the time was ready.
Wait,
Duh.
wait.
No,
We're not.
None of that made sense.
Right.
Whose memories are in my
That's what
head
I'm
right
saying.
now? Jerry put a flask in my hand. Dude, look, here's the thing. I know you're fighting for control of your mind right now, but if there's any of you left in there, you gotta drink this. What is it? It's the reason she couldn't live inside of me. No fucking way. Throw that shit down right now. Do not drink it. I don't want to drink it. Then don't drink it. I wasn't planning on drinking
Sorry,
it.
Pamela.
Right. I'm glad
I'm
we're
just-
in agreement. Lovely. I opened the flask and threw it back.
How do
The
you?
whole time it went down my throat, I could hear two different voices in my head screaming at me. This was a bad idea. I knew they were both right, but sometimes bad ideas are the only ones we have. As I
Right.
drained the flask, I realized that the mystery drink was not as, shall we say, lethal as most of Jerry's concoctions.
Wait,
It
what?
tasted like soap and sugar and a little more.
What?
When it was finally done, I dropped it onto the floor. Jerry laughed, but it wasn't his normal laugh. It wasn't the show off how cool I am laugh, or the I just thought of a funny laugh, or even the whoops, didn't mean to send you that dick pic laugh.
He did. He
It
drank
was a
it.
nervous,
He
concerned
he
laugh.
drank the whole thing, Pamela.
Wow. You drank the whole thing.
Oh,
Was I not supposed to?
Oh, no, it's fine. I'm just impressed. Why?
It didn't taste that alcoholic.
It wasn't alcohol.
wait, what?
Oh God, I'm about to be sick.
And what the fuck was it?
Oh, red hot pangs shooting through my intestines. What is this? You stupid. What are these things called anyway? People? How could I possibly be losing this bad to people?
What the fuck?
Dude, I needed to get away. I needed to regroup. I needed a plan, but this one was fighting me for control of his mind, and that meant
What
I
the
couldn't come up with a plan until
Wait,
after
wait, wait,
I
wait, wait,
disconnected.
wait.
It
Who's
wouldn't
fighting
take
you
long.
for whose?
This one, though, all I had to do was shred some organs. I could be done in a matter of seconds. These bodies are so frail, but this fire, whatever it was,
What?
I couldn't bear it for another moment. I fell on my knees and I braced for what
I'm
I knew was
confused,
coming.
guys.
I picked up the 6-inch millipede with the force of a cannon. The taste of acid and blood filled my mouth, and I felt incredibly weak. I'd been chopped down the middle. I felt like all energy had left, and half of my life, my memories evacuated alongside it. At least they tried. With what little mental acuity I had left, I snagged an errant memory on its way out the exit. Oh, you're not going anywhere. You're my memory now.
Wait.
As far as memories go, this was the mother lode. The millipede rolled into a ball in my vomit and promptly launched across the room as Jerry raced up and kicked it, screaming, "Yito, mosquito!" I pushed myself up, horrified by the new information now
no,
residing
this.
inside my head.
Wait, cause
Jerry,
no,
Jerry,
no.
that's the
'Cause-
mayfly queen.
Oh.
Some kind of parasite.
Okay, now it makes
It
sense.
awakens and feeds, and it finds.
Okay,
little
now
like eggs
all right,
inside of
all right.
each season they
I
hatch
got it
from
now,
out of the
guys.
bodies.
I got
That's
it.
where the mayflies come from. They come out of humans. The one unlucky
So-
shark gets to be her vessel for 5 years.
Oh, crap.
She lays dormant and absorbs all the knowledge of her chosen victim. Abram didn't know that thing was inside of him. And she's been doing this for millions of years. Air pressure suddenly changed. Behind me, the door to the cooler opened wide. I turned just in time to see the queen millipede skitter across the ceiling and out the open door. Completely unbeknownst to Lucy, who was standing in the doorway with a look
I thought Lucy had the gun.
on her face.
Who has the gun? Who has the gun?
You need stitches, but I'm afraid this is the best you can do for now.
No.
Carefully butterfly bandaged together what you could, and smothered the rest of my left hand under a gauze mitten. I'm gonna ask. Yeah, I was already missing that pinky from before.
Right,
No,
we know,
no.
we know, we
I
know.
was gonna ask,
But
what the hell happened in there? I looked at Jerry, who was standing shirtless next to me and applying his own bandages.
oh,
He gave me the look. The one I'd come to understand is, you're in charge here, buddy. If we were going to tell them the truth, it would need to come from my mouth. If we're going to attempt to cover up, I'd have to be the one to think up a good lie.
I
It
mean,
was,
how do? No, I mean
it was a raccoon.
raccoons.
Yet
Yeah,
on my shirt collar and shined her flashlight at my millipede leg track marks.
yeah, raccoons.
You look like you've been put under a sewing machine. Jerry ran with it. That's exactly what happened. Raccoon had a sewing machine gun. It was knucking fucks in there.
Brian, I love you, brother.
Have any more of that rubbing out
Appreciate
the
you.
hole? Lucy was pretending not to watch, but even
But-
in the dim red glow of the emergency
How do you-
light, I noticed her steal a few passing glances at Jerry's tattoos. An angry voice cut into the air. There's another wild coon running around. You need to do something about it right now before we all get rabies.
Okay.
Lucy snapped back. That's enough out of you. Owen was on the floor a few feet away, his hands zip-tied to the drain pipe below the frozen drink machine.
Yeah, well, he's a douche,
Besides
so he
slight
should be.
welt on his neck and some frizzled hair, he didn't look too much worse for wear. He's not much worse than when we went into the cooler. On the other side of the room, Bart lay motionless beneath a packing blanket. There was no reason to rush for his sake anymore.
Was he dead?
I didn't get the whole story.
Was he dead?
From what I had gathered, Owen had a change of heart about Jerry's plan.
Wait,
after the
was
chair went into place,
was dude dead?
trapping us inside the cooler. He just couldn't bring himself to surrender his weapon. All pretense of innocence went out the window after Lucy found the CB radio and Owen smashed it into pieces. He needed more time to think, he said, to make sure that everyone was on the same page with their stories. He couldn't risk getting caught up in this. It would have been too much of an inconvenience for a man his level of visibility. Lucy took the gun from him. Owen put up a fight. It ended with him on the floor, zip-tied to a drainage pipe. And I would have paid every penny that I had to see how it went down, but sadly, Lucy was conservative on the details, so I'd have to let my imagination do the work.
Okay.
Bart held on for as long as he could, but it wasn't enough.
So Bart died.
Passed moments before Lucy opened the cooler door.
That-
Found us in a pool of blood and vomit. Maybe we should have never tried to stop him. Maybe he would have been fine if he'd gotten into his delivery truck and hit the road. Maybe my decisions were responsible for what happened.
Oh shit.
There's going to be a whole lot of maybes
That
I
sucks.
had to live with, but that depends
I
on
mean,
me
you gotta-
living first. Somewhere inside this poorly lit room was a hyper-intelligent parasitic creature that had been killing and consuming people for eons. And right now, it was hatching a plan to make sure that we didn't leave here alive. And it moved on to
Oh
the line
crap.
of dots on my chin. The medicine stung like hell, but compared to the millipede, this is a cakewalk. Thanks, I said,
But-
as she taped up the bandage. So,
But
if
where
you're not a doctor, what are you? Like a nurse or something? I'm a vet. You mean like a member of the armed forces? No, she said bluntly. Well, that's probably okay. As long as she knows her way around a pack of gauze, I'm happy to have her here.
I'm thinking we all ought to run and
Voice
hide
surprised
and
me. Yen turned around and
cover
shined the light
because
on him. He had the floor now. I spent 12 years in the Marine Corps. I was stationed in Iraq fighting terrorists while you were in high school. Look, I knew I might have messed up. In the heat of the moment, I discharged my weapon and there was some friendly fire. I'm not your enemy.
sketchy.
If you want help catching the rabbit
Why didn't you say that before, dude?
Because you aren't equipped to handle the situation. I don't even need my weapon back. If it makes you feel safer, you can let the little guy hold the gun. I had to assume that he was referring to me by the little guy. It was patronizing, but he may have a point. Not about freeing him, of course, but about us not being equipped to handle the situation. The baseball bat
I
on my
mean,
side probably
right,
wouldn't be
but-
enough if we found what we were looking for,
Yeah.
or if it found us.
I mean, if he's
Lucy stepped over to Owen and asked,
get some help from him
"Where are you
because
stationed?" What? She repeated herself a little more forcefully. Where were you stationed,
sure.
Owen? I
what?
told you, Iraq. What base? He hesitated. She continued. What city? He shook his head. I don't have time to explain, and I don't have to explain my time in the SERP. What kind of weapon were you issued?
Oh,
M16.
shit.
It's a standard. You are in the Corps for 3 tours. You should know the answers to this. What size
Right.
ammo does an M16 use? The capital of Iraq.
Oh fuck. All right,
He looked
so
flummoxed.
plan B, guys.
Back to him, he spewed the words, "Hey, bitch, let me out of here!" He thrashed against the pipe, leaning his weight into it, and then fell limp on the ground,
Yeah.
simpering. I turned to Jerry and said, "I think it's time. We're gonna need to get the code black box."
Oh shit.
Jerry had stripped all the way down to his French
No.
magic boxers.
No.
Tossed his soiled clothes into a heap by the front door. "You sure?" he said. "Are you positive
Oh,
that this
my
is worthy of a
God.
code black? If this isn't, then I honestly don't want to imagine what is."
Oh, shit, guys.
All
Here we
right.
go.
Be right back. He started
This
in the
is-
supply closet and I
this is-
stopped him. Wait, what?
This is a code black.
Go alone. It's not safe. I mean, what if that
Oh, this can't be a code black.
raccoon tries to get you?
These guys.
Fine, remember?
All right, we'll
I'm
see.
immune
We'll
to
see.
its,
We'll see.
Cooties.
Yeah, but even if you can't get the cooties for some reason, the thing can still rip you apart like a paper shredder. Lucy walked up to Jerry and said, I'll go with you. We'll stay in groups, and if we see any raccoons, I'll just take the shot. Jerry and I both blurted, no, at the same time. Why not? Lucy had already demonstrated an impressive competency to know when to trust people and when to call people on their bullshit. She knew something was up. I tried for a convincing answer. We need to make sure that it's the right one. I mean, I don't want to waste bullets on an innocent raccoon. She gave me a stare that screamed,
Wait, what?
I know you're lying,
No.
Jack. But she didn't call me out. Yen ventured into the conversation. What kind of raccoons do you have around here? Because I've seen a lot of raccoon attacks in my day, and nothing about this looks right. They're advanced, I said.
Yeah.
Highly advanced. A minute later, Jerry
So-
and Lucy were in the back room with us. He
Damn.
had brought out the meter-long rectangular box labeled Code Black for emergencies only. He had also displayed an excellent amount of initiative by grabbing the Code X box. Code X wasn't specific for situations like this. It was really more of a preparation for whenever one of us needed to work on an unexpected double shift without notice. But the contents were incredibly useful. We changed into the spare clothes, sweatpants and black t-shirts, and took turns taking swigs from the bottle of mouthwash and spitting them into the styrofoam cup. I was concerned by just how much blood was in my spit. It was, to put it mildly, well above average. With that minor hygiene maintenance done, we opened the lid to the Code Black box. Yen gasped. Lucy let out a what the fuck? And Jerry whistled like he didn't already know what was in there.
Did he
Side.
know what was in there?
Opening this felt like
I
I had
don't
just
know.
lost some kind of personal challenge. The contents of the Code Black kit were carefully picked out after detailed consideration of many factors.
But
Jerry and I debated the merit of every single thing that went into it. Nothing here was chosen lightly. I took out the first weapon. A Glock 19 that someone left at the gas station after he didn't need it anymore. Long story.
okay, so
I checked the safety to make sure it still wasn't there, then put
Right.
the gun into the booth table.
nice.
Next, I pulled out the old bear trap. There was dried blood on the teeth. Definitely too big to do the job we needed. Next, I pulled out another handgun. And then another. I kept removing weapons, setting
What?
each down onto the table with care, until I finally found what I
Wait.
was really looking for.
Oh,
The bottom of the box,
all right.
taking up the space
Um,
from one corner to the other, was Jerry's main contribution to the kit. The old katana he found at a garage sale and spent 2 weeks
Oh.
sharpening until it was clean enough to shave with.
Okay.
I pulled the weapon out by the sheath and
Nice.
handed it to its rightful owner.
But why would you?
Sweet, Jerry said, taking it from me with 2 hands.
Okay,
Only
okay,
respectful way
okay,
to take
okay.
such a weapon.
We got a
Next,
bunch
I
of guns and we got a
piled the
sword.
belly slap
We're
of my
good.
new shirt
We can
so I could
take
carry it
on
all
this
together.
garbage.
As I transported the guns behind the counter, Lucy started questioning me. And to be honest, it's surprising it took this long. Hey, wait a second. Where are you going with all those things? She followed me closely, which was good because I needed her flashlight to see the numbers on the dial of the store safe. Putting away the stuff we don't need. She walked over and crouched down by my side. It was just us now. She whispered, "What's going on, Jack?" I tried the dial and answered, "May as well tell you the truth. It's not a raccoon that we're looking for. Kind of figured.
Right.
There's a
But
creature in here with us, and it's what killed Abram. Almost killed me and Jerry.
Abram
Jerry
died in the
opened
first
the safe.
half, so you
Then
got to go
immediately
back
started
and
stacking
watch
the guns inside.
part A.
Lucy
But
asked,
whatever.
"If there's a killer monster inside this building, why are you getting rid of the only things we have to defend ourselves with?" "Because," I answered, "it's smart. It knows what weapons are, and it can take over our minds. A gun won't kill it.
Oh
If
shit.
it infects one of us when we're armed, if
But-
it manages to get a hold of a gun,
But
that's game over.
but
Can't let it use our weapons against us."
but.
I looked
Damn
into her
it.
eyes for any sign of doubt or sympathy.
All
I
right.
tried to
Well.
study her to see if she was buying it. But she looked like she was doing the same thing to me, studying my face. We just watched one another for a heavy, solid moment until she looked down,
Makes sense.
pulled out Owen's handgun,
Does.
and handed it over.
Okay.
Well, in that case, don't forget this one.
All right. So
I dropped it inside the safe, closed the door, and spun the dial.
okay.
"Thanks," I said.
Now I mean
Turns out, Yen's impressive voice translates into even more impressive screams. This wasn't like the noise that she made when she found Abram. No, this was twice as loud. I felt it in my bones. My first thought as we jumped to our feet was, oh God, that thing has gotten a hold of Yen. But then Lucy shined her light on him and I
Right,
realized
M. That's a very
was wrong.
yeah. We got this.
the
They're
millipede
gonna be
queen
all
had
right,
found
right?
herself a new host.
They're gonna be good.
And now,
They're gonna survive this
Bart's
because
body was
that's.
standing in the middle of the room.
Wait a
staring
minute,
at his hands
Bart.
and wriggling each of his fingers. A crazy
Bart had a
smile on his
dagger
face.
sticking in
Jerry
the
held
middle
the
of his
sword over
chest
head and dramatically
earlier.
unsheathed it. Zombies again, eh?
Oh,
All right,
fuck.
let's do this. He ran across the room and swung the blade straight down. It just lodged itself in the top of Bart's skull about an inch deep and stuck. Jerry pulled, but Bart jumped back, taking the wedged weapon with him. The blade was now protruding from his head like a unicorn horn.
But
Wow, Jerry said. It was not nearly as easy as I thought it was going to be.
oh
It
shit.
is hard. Lucy grabbed me by the arm and pulled me to the ground behind the counter. Combination, open the safe, do it now. I can't. Why not?
Yeah,
Timer
Bart's
on a
back.
battery. The safe will open more than once every 8 hours. She grunted.
Oh
In a
shit.
flash, she was back on her feet and leapt over the counter. By the time I got to the other side, she had already raced over to the table, grabbed the baseball bat, and cracked it over the zombie Bart's head. It, predictably, had little effect. The Zombar lifted his
But,
hand,
I
gripped
mean-
the blade, and pulled it free.
Oh hell no.
See, this is exactly what I was worried about. The
Right.
monster had gotten a hold of one of our weapons. I knew this was going to happen. I am a genius. Owen was screaming and thrashing. Yen was hiding behind Jerry now, moving in my direction. And the Bart
So-
Queen was heading...
What do
Away
what do
from
we?
all of
How
us?
do we?
Huh. Good. I quickly
shit.
realized he was heading towards the door. Ah, bad. Bart lifted the blade and flicked it down, shattering the glass door into a million pieces. The cloud of green flowed inside like a fire hydrant.
the
at first.
fucking
In a matter of
bugs.
seconds, we all lost visibility. The air turned warm, then hot. Tiny wings and legs the size of hairs blasted
Oh,
my
my-
skin. I stepped forward.
And
holding
how do
my breath and
we?
reaching into
What
the
happened to the
hoping-
spray?
hope that my
Use the
fingers
spray.
would salvation.
Use the spray.
Immediately, a hand grasped my
Use
wrist
the
and
spray.
my eyes were closed, but mayflies coated the lining of my lids.
Use the spray.
Underneath, whoever was holding my arm continued to pull, so I continued to follow until finally they fell to the ground, taking me with them. As soon as my hands touched the floor, I regained my bearings. I'd know this sticky concrete anywhere. We were inside the storage closet again, which meant I felt my way along the floor until I reached the corner. There was a
I
box
mean,
here.
do you still have the spray? Use the spray.
What is it? I found what I could only hope was the correct cardboard box. I ripped it open, I reached inside and felt around until... Eureka! The flashlight! The normal flashlight! As soon as I clicked it on, the swarm surged loudly enough for me to be able to hear it like a tempest wave crashing against the sides of a boat. Green spattered the walls as some of the bugs became victims of their own air stampede. With all the strength I had remaining, I tossed it out the doorway. The cloud of bugs, now a solid wall of green, heaved in unison after it, catching it, freezing it in midair, and quickly consuming it. Jerry slammed the door shut and slid the deadbolt into place. Why, you might ask, does our supply closet have a deadbolt from the inside? Well, obviously, for just such an occasion.
Do you have the spray?
Packed up and wiped
Use the spray.
And soon I became aware that I wasn't the only one. Next to me, Lucy was feverishly pinching off the remaining insects and stomping or clapping them into oblivion. Next to her, Yen sat with her back against the wall, staring at something miles away. I couldn't believe it. In the chaos, we all grabbed each other's hands and worked our way to safety. We were all safe. Wait. No, that's not exactly right. I counted heads just to make sure. Oh,
But
looks like somebody didn't make it. Another asshole mayfly tried racing up my nose. I pinched it and wiped the gooey mess onto my shirt. Then, quite unexpectedly, the doors of reality fell off their hinges.
really, at this point, that's where things go weird.
There aren't any words to describe what happened. Honestly, this isn't a job for words. You could try staring directly into the sun for about 10 years, but someone pours oatmeal into your eyes through a funnel. To be clear, that's not what this felt like, but that might open your senses to a degree
But-
of perception that will allow the
but, I
inference
mean,
of
there's
the
a-
idea to exist in your mind. However, we don't really have
Hold
time
on.
for that, so I'll give language a shot and do the best I can. I found myself falling off of the face of the world. Like my mind had been a one-dimensional cup of coffee, stretched out and remastered into 3D, played backwards on a network of computers that could only be used by beings with eyes. that
We're
could see no
trying
purpose.
so hard to save you,
My
dude.
coffee, the thoughts spilled out all over the table. There's a table in this situation, right next to the bowl of fruit.
Where the fuck did...
Time. was
Whoa,
slowed down
wait,
for
a
me.
bowl
I
of
could
fruit?
Control it. I could make it stop if I wanted to.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
I was acutely aware that the time flow for
Oh,
everyone else
shit.
and everything else
We
was still
forgot.
going on.
He's on massive amounts of
For all
drugs.
intents and purposes, like
We should
time
have...
was still moving
Yeah.
normally for me as well. I can assure you that time was.
We forgot. He actually... That little flask
Around
that
me,
he
I realized
downed
that I was
earlier...
out of my body long ago.
Okay. Yeah,
I
we forgot
the
about
gas
that.
station,
So...
in a closet, surrounded by swarms of dick gnats, and I left my wallet and keys and phone on my body, so I was truly naked now, in the most literal and metaphysical way possible. I was somewhere inside of an infinity, and my brain was somewhere inside another infinity, and my body was somewhere inside a different infinity. And in some ways, I was infinity. I felt the universe's cruel love and understood that I was just a molecule in an expanding star. The world didn't need me. I could live and exist amongst the cosmos forever.
No.
There was a gorgeous shining light.
No.
I was part of it. All the pain my mortal body had ever endured was
All
so
right.
small in comparison
Hold on.
forever.
Let him work this shit out.
Peace.
He is currently on a lot of hallucinogens. I forgot about that for a minute. So let's just let that go
That scary
for a
gas
minute
station thing was dumb anyway. Hey, maybe in the next life
and
I
see
could
how it
do that.
works out.
Some bats eat fruit, right? I could do that. Sleep all day, eat berries all night, fly in a group with friends, live forever, solve mysteries, ride roller coasters. Bats ride roller coasters, don't they? If not, they will. I just need to rearrange the reality
What?
slightly, and I could do and
The-
be anything I want. I felt a shock. The universe pushed me back against my absurd attempt to interact with the melody. The song was already in motion. I couldn't change it. Only listen and enjoy. That's enough.
Pamela, you'll have to
Ride the wave.
watch part 1 to
See what the
understand
story had in store for
how
Jerry
he ended
Snap
up
across the
tripping
face.
like
Dirk,
this,
snap
but
out of it. We got
yeah,
shit
he's
to do.
tripping. You'll have to watch part 1
Back at the gas station.
to understand, but okay.
Sitting in the corner and drooling all over myself. How long had I been gone? Where exactly had I gone to? Yen knelt in front of me and shined the red flashlight into my eyes. His pupils are dilated.
I mean,
Did you hit your head?
all right.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway,
This could be a sign of traumatic brain injury.
but yes,
Maybe
guys,
out
if
of
you
here,
want to
find a
understand,
hospital.
yeah, he's tripping. You got to watch part
Just the
1.
drugs finally kicking in. I sat up and the entire world sloshed.
He's
into
gonna
place
explain
after
it
me.
now, though.
The room had some momentary lag to it. And strangely enough, I could see everything as clear as ever.
Uh-huh.
Drugs? I asked. Okay, so promise me you won't get mad. I
Okay.
will not promise
Here's
that.
the
Okay,
explanation.
well, if you promise you won't get mad, I'll tell you. Remember how I requested to work tonight? Well, the reason was because I needed someone responsible, like you, to be here in case things got heavy. You know, because I trust you to make sure that I'm safe and not call the cops if I have a bad trip. The world finally snapped into place around me. Everything was back to normal, except for
you
the fact that I
saying?
could suddenly see everybody's aura. Looking back, that seems rather strange, but at the moment, it felt perfectly inconsequential.
Right. I mean,
do?
it's
I
just
asked him.
right.
Gary's aura was a strange kind of sunny yellow and pink, swirling with vibrant energy. It was a controlled chaos, like a Picasso painting in a blender.
Right.
Well, you know, Halloween is sacred to me. I wanted to make sure I did something special for it.
Here's-
So I made some hallucinogenic tea. And I may have been microdosing for the last few days to optimize my high.
But-
I thought it would let me see some other worlds, but for the most part, it just showed me truths about how tiny we are in the universe.
And
No, right? I said,
but-
excitement before snapping out of the spell. Wait, what? Okay. In
yeah.
that flask you gave me. Oh, it's a special homebrew. There's a few different ingredients, primarily. He mumbled a couple of words under his breath, and his aura shifted to purple and baby
But-
blue.
But so you
Come again?
yeah.
He couldn't look at me. I said, primarily ayahuasca and peyote. Lucy let out a loud, inappropriate ha! Yen gave her a disapproving mom face, but Lucy shrugged. What? That's actually funny. You know, in a we're all gonna die, but at least you're high kind of way. Her aura was bright orange
But
and fire red. Yen was cool blue and wavy.
no, you're so
I prefer we find a way
we're
out of this
tripping a
where nobody
little.
else has to die. My tongue felt funny. I don't know a lot about recreational drugs. Jerry seemed almost offended by my choice of words. His aura made a frowny face as he explained, "These are not recreational, they're spiritual, medicinal. Native Americans use
medicinal.
peyote to treat
So
influenza,
yeah,
snake, and
everything's
scorpion
good
bites,
then.
even blindness, because it helps you see out
But
of more than just your eyes."
the problem is, here's the problem.
Actually,
Here's
he's not
the problem.
completely wrong. Ayahuasca has been used for ages by indigenous people to combat tropical parasites. Lucy said, "Great.
But-
So we actually dumb lucked our way into an antidote for zombieism."
Okay,
Yeah, quick.
well,
Distance
you know,
yourself
that could
from
be
what the
cool.
conversation was
Let's see.
We're not honestly saying that Bart is some kind of reanimated corpse. That's absolutely absurd. He must have simply had a weak pulse that I couldn't detect. The blood loss probably left him confused and disoriented, and that brain injury from the sword must have been what caused him to break the glass in an effort to get away. There's
Oh,
a perfectly
okay,
normal
yeah,
explanation
let's-
for everything that happened.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Annoyingly
That makes
rational.
sense.
Lucy
That makes
scratched up her
sense.
nose. You might be right, but I've seen enough weird stuff in my life to know that monsters are real. I don't suppose you guys have any more of that stuff, do you? Alas, Jerry answered. Jack Power chugged it like he was a freshman at a rush week. Sorry.
Yeah,
Not
right.
as sorry as
I
you're gonna
mean-
be. There's a fuse before that stuff hits all at once.
Oh,
and if
shit.
you're not used to the effects, well, you might find yourself falling in and out of corporality. Not normal. If you end up in the other place,
Can
let the
somebody
Toledo
give me
spirit
the
to be your guide.
definition
It doesn't
of
always appear at first,
corporality?
but considering how much
What is
tea you drink, I
corporality?
think you'll pretty much have to show.
I think I have an
Nearly jumped out of my
idea,
skin when we heard the
but
sound of
can
knocking
somebody
at
give me
door.
the
With those
definition?
drugs coursing through my veins, such a thing felt very possible. Who is it? Jerry said in a strange, high-pitched voice. Open the door, blasted Owen.
Oh, shit.
At least something using Owen's voice. Yen jumped from the door, but Lucy snatched her by the wrist with both hands and stopped her. Let go, she said. Owen's out there in that mess. The voice on the other side of the door was desperate. Come on, let me in. These things are everywhere. I can barely breathe. He started coughing loudly, convincingly, then continued. Please, I'm hurt. I'm bleeding really badly. You have to open up. Yen shook her hand free from Lucy's grasp and said, "We have to let him in. He'll die out there. I know he's a shitty person, but he doesn't deserve this." Her aura was glowing white hot, but something else was drowning it out. I could see the aura of whatever was standing on the other side of the door, and it was monstrous, hungry and angry. It was shaped like a human, but it radiated an unholy energy. And now I understood. This must have been what Jerry saw when he looked at Abram. It acted human, presented human, but it wasn't. Hey, I said, pulling myself to my feet. That's not Owen. If you open that door, we're all screwed. Her aura went red the moment that she made up her mind. I knew what was coming, but I didn't have time to stop it. You're all crazy. With that, she lunged forward and slid open the lock. The door swung open immediately, and the vessel that had once been Owen stepped inside our room. His face was covered in lines of green dots, racing around and over one another, crawling in and out of his holes where his nose and eyes used to be. His once handsome face was now skeletal caverns for highways of insects, wearing away to the bone as the Mobilesque army of infant mayflies took millions of tiny bites. He lifted his hands, one of which had been degloved at the wrist, where the zip tie had held him in place. His fingers caught Yen by the throat and squeezed her screams into silence. They both went down. Yen hit her back against the floor. The thing landed on top of her, still squeezing. Its jaw opened as a pair of long, thin appendages reached out, dangling from the other side of his teeth, inches above his face. The swarm of insects invaded the room. Jerry launched onto Owen's back. Lucy grabbed the flashlight and broke it against Owen's face. The thing released its grip on Yen long enough to grab the other two and throw them into the hallway. And when it turned back to its victim, the queen was already halfway removed from Owen's mouth. Its eyes stared at the poor woman, crying in front of it. Its fishbone legs scratching the skin of Owen's mouth away in chunks like it couldn't wait to free itself. And suddenly, they were far away. Or I was far away. No, not now. Keep it together, Jack. You can trip later. They need you. The room was gone. I was standing outside. Cold, wet air blew against my face, filling my nostrils with the smell of wood smoke and sand. The sky above me was filled with crisp stars, reaching all the way down to the horizon on all sides. The earth beneath me was brown. Nearby, a fire crackled, inviting me over. But the queen thing, it was about to crawl inside a yen. I slowly turned around a full 360 degrees. There was no yen here. No millipede. No gas station. This felt just as real as anything. Maybe I had hallucinated the whole thing. Maybe I'd never even worked at a gas station. Maybe I just came out here to do some drugs and I couldn't remember which side of the dream I started out on. I walked over to the fire. Not like I had much choice. My only options were A, approach the fire, or B, don't approach the fire. I had already tried B without any success. The bonfire was only 3 logs big, but put off enough heat that I could feel it from 10 feet away. As soon as I was close enough to enter its bubble of warmth, I heard the man standing next to me. Yo, you're finally here, Jack. He was taller than me, by a couple of heads. His skin was lime green. Pointy ears, no hair. He wore no clothes, and I kept my eyes aimed up at his face, just to stay polite. Hey, I said, doing my best impression of a friendly gas station clerk. Who are you? I'm like your guiding spirit or whatever. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm like your spirit guide or whatever. He had a distinctly surfer bro accent. Not at all what I expected. I mean, I didn't expect anything, but especially not this. I'm here to show you how to find the answers you seek, I guess. Oh. Okay, well, I was in the middle of something when I got here. Do you think we can rain check this and send me back? I'm pretty sure my body's being eaten by bugs as we speak. Your body is safe, but your mind is torn asunder. The vision waved its green hands as it spoke. It felt slightly overacted, but it was going to be polite. Your thoughts are poison. You bleed memories. Your spiritual injuries go deep. If you do not tend to them first, your body will outlive you, man. I sighed. Okay, fine. How does this work? What's the fastest way to get this all over with? The Mezzi spirit crossed his arms and said, well, I guess we can dispense with formalities. Great. I hate formalities. Oh, me too, man. All right. Let's get right to it. First, a few ground rules, okay? Number 1, no kissing. What? Absolutely no kissing. Understand? Can't even tell you how many times people have tried to make out with me. Like, come on. I'm a primeval spirit of nature, not some booty call. Anyway, number 2. If you want to listen to music, his words turned into muted screams as the blade entered his neck.
This is turning creepy.
Another figurehead
but
appeared out of the darkness, jumped onto the spirit's back and drove a fillet knife into it. The spirit hit the ground as the man removed the knife and stabbed it back in over and over. Black blood sprayed out in every direction as the man turned him into a bloody pincushion. He held the knife handle with 2 hands,
that's an
again
issue.
and again until the blood wasn't spraying anymore. Man heaved loudly until his breathing was normal. And he plunged the weapon one last time into the spirit's back, all the way to the hilt before standing up and dusting himself off. Once again, once done, he looked at me and gave a strange smile. Hey, Jack. Looks like I got this one just in time. You okay? The man looked like Abram.
what?
Mostly, anyway. He was a fair amount younger, slightly thinner, and his yellow hair was almost brown. The hell did you do that for? I asked him. What are you talking about? His voice was definitely Abram's. I just saved a damn life. The man looked at the destroyed creature at his feet, and doubt crept into his words. Didn't I? No! But really? Looked like he was one of them aliens. Like that one they caught up and hunting those goats in the Brown Farm. I mean, look at him. He's all green. Lots of supernatural things are green. That was a spirit guide. He was supposed to show me how to navigate this plane of existence.
And you
Oh, shit, really? Yes! I've been kicked to the body.
Fuck.
Didn't budge. Oh, well, damn. My mistake, Jack. There's nothing else to do with our night. We tried digging a hole to bury the body of our deceased spirit guide, but the ground was just too hard, so we gave up almost right away. In the end, we decided to roll the body away and try to ignore it
But-
while we sat down by the fire. I had to wonder if anyone had ever killed their spirit guide before.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
For this kind of thing? Or was I going to get in trouble? Jerry would probably
I
answer
mean,
that, wherever Jerry was. Which reminded me, I was still trapped in another state of materiality from where I was supposed to be.
but
The young version of Abram pulled a burning twig away from the fire and used it to light a cigarette. How did you even get here? I asked. And what are you, like some kind of ghost or something? Abram laughed. Come on, Jack. There ain't no such thing as
this
ghosts.
is.
That's
I mean, how?
debatable. Nah, see,
All right.
I'm just a vestige of the Mayfly Queen. Thing is, she don't just take over a host. What she does is way more cruel. He took a slow drag before continuing. Evidently, this vestige wasn't in any hurry. And from the look of things, it wouldn't have mattered if he was. He didn't have any
But-
real way out of this.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
Bitch doesn't do much work for herself. She outsources it all. Makes her host eat for her, makes her breathe for her, even had to remember things for her. It's supposed to just be a one-way street, but there's a little cross-contamination. So my memory stayed inside of her when she made me kill myself. And when your brain gets sloppy seconds, she must have deposited some of Abram's thoughts inside your dome. That's what I am. Oh, I said, that's really gross. But as long as I have you here, maybe we can make the most of it. Is there anything you can tell me about the Queen? Any weaknesses? I mean, how do I kill it? Oh, I'm afraid you ain't got much option. At least, all I know is this. And don't ask me how I know it. Queen needs a body to stay alive, and she can make do with a corpse for a little while. She can't crawl into a healthy host. After about 5 minutes, she's done. That's why she made me come to the gas station. He closed his eyes and rubbed them. His lips quivered like he was trying to keep from breaking. You okay? She made me do it. I mean, she made me do so many things. I honestly didn't even know why I was doing it. I didn't know why I was infected. Started with weird little stuff. I got all these crazy cravings. I wanted to drink puddle water. I wanted to eat dirt. I just had to live with it. I thought, we all got our fuck-ups, right? And then a couple months back, I started having to collect corpses. Mostly roadkill at first. And then a new urge hit me. I had to start setting traps. I started collecting pets. I had
Wait.
room in my deep freeze, so I started
Wait, what?
stocking them up whenever they fit
So,
in my house. I had been sleeping
you need
in a
to-
hotel for the last week because I couldn't stand the smell anytime I went home. Let me tell you, I drive garbage trucks for a living. I tried to think of some way
Oh,
of changing the
shit.
subject. This was horrible.
Oh,
Not
shit.
exactly useful information. When I couldn't think of anything, I let him continue, hoping he was almost out of steam. Then inside my brain forced me to fill up the back of my garbage truck with all this rotten meat and drive it out to the gas station where it would be separated from the rest of town. And she remembered all the times I saw you out there. And thought
Wait,
it'd be
I
safe.
mean.
You know, a safe hunting ground. Turn one
Crap.
of you into a new host, turn the others into food. Alongside the meat from the garbage truck. And she spend the next 5 years laying more eggs. And you don't want to know how she lays her eggs in other people, Jack. It's real nasty. But I couldn't help it. I didn't have no control. So even when she made me take that knife and hold his hands into fists, and let's say I finally feel like myself again. I looked away from him and stared at the fire.
Oh.
Sucks.
This.
I knew what I was going to have to do, and I hated it. I was wrong. Well, the Queen needs a healthy host. I'm going to kill it.
Hey,
The
Pamela.
way to do that, I have to make sure there aren't any healthy hosts left to occupy. What do you mean?
We need to figure out,
I get back to the gas station, I'm gonna have
and
to
we
kill
need to
the
go
animals.
find this guy, and
Clap. Clap. I turned to see the naked
Oh,
green
my
giant
goodness.
standing behind us and slowly clapping his hands together. There, you figured it out on your own. This is all part of your spiritual voyage. I was meant to get stabbed all along. I stood up and faced the vision. Really? Yeah, Jack. It's like
We gotta-
totally how I intended for it to go. And now that you have your epiphany,
oh
I'm
my
gonna
goodness.
send you back or whatever. And like, don't forget, if you enjoyed your vision, rate me 5 stars. All right, my guy, time to go home. I shot up, struggling for air and finding none. I was underwater, flailing, bathing in darkness. The world clung to my limbs, pulling me, resisting my motions. I gasped and fell and hit my head, and then
But
then my hands touched the sticky concrete floor.
Wait, what? What? How
Stop
can
spinning. Never
you were?
regained my bearings. I was back in the supply closet, wrapped up. in
Hold
plastic tarp
on.
and
Hold the
carefully
fuck
crunched
on.
to suck in as much air as my lungs could take.
Hold the fuck on.
Pounded. My bruises screamed. My left hand was numb all the way to the wrist, but I was alive. Even better, my hallucinogenic night vision was still working. Wait, that's not right. The light was on overhead, which meant someone or something had found the breaker box and turned the power back on in the station. The supply closet was shut, and I was all alone. If you don't count the dried-up
We're not-
carcasses of a businessman by the door.
No.
Oodles of carnivorous green dots crawling in and on and around him. Couldn't tell how long I had been in the other place, but something told me I
But-
had time to stop the queen. But if I was going to do that, I would need to open that one box I hoped I'd never open. It was the most desperate measure for sure. But these were the most desperate times.
How do we?
When this whole thing blows over, I'm gonna
How do
take a
we
long
help
vacation.
your tripping
I
ass?
climbed up to the top shelf, reached into the corner, and pulled out the small, innocuous shoebox labeled in tiny print. Code Reds only.
Okay.
Put this back. Whatever is happening, it isn't a code red.
Oh.
I brought it down, carefully set it under the ground in front of me, and opened the lid. Inside was a small
Why would
box,
you do that?
a fire safe for the combination lock.
Okay. Okay.
Really happening, huh? I'm about to go kill some innocent people and save this sorry town.
Hey,
I entered the
I mean-
combination. 6.
is that required or
6.
what?
And snapped open the lid.
But
The code red box contained exactly 2 things. A cigarette
okay.
and a hand grenade. I took the grenade and I stuffed it into my hoodie pocket. Right inside my...
You know,
Oh, that's right. My hoodie's still outside.
right?
I took the grenade and I stuffed it into my pant.
No,
What?
you
Why
you
don't
don't.
sweatpants have pockets? I took the grenade and I
But-
looked at it.
But
How the hell was I going to transport this thing without the queen seeing it? I couldn't very well hide it in my underwear, even if I wanted to. I didn't have time to let my next idea disgust me into reconsidering. I just bit the bullet.
I mean,
I pried Owen's expensive suit jacket from what remained of his body, slammed it against the wall a couple of times, and put it on. It fit surprisingly well.
so you got a
Um,
expensive suit jacket and no pants.
with the grenade stuffed into the inner jacket pocket,
Okay.
I went to the closet door and I pulled it open. As I stepped into the hallway, my shoes squished into something that felt like cat litter. It wasn't long before the liquid worked its way through my socks.
Okay.
The floor was completely
Yeah,
coated in
gross,
a blanket of
but-
grains, several insects thick. The walls were all coated in the same stuff, and the ceiling and the fixtures. I was walking down a solid green squirming tube
Okay,
to an equal
okay,
green cave shaped like the
and-
front of a gas station. Each
and-
step I took, I felt a small footprint that quickly filled itself back in. The mayflies had finally become maycrawlers, having reached the stage in their life cycles where their wings fell off. Now
Okay.
they piled together, kicking any surface area that they could find. I could hear the sound of billions of microscopic teeth prying at the wood, slowly devouring, digesting the building from the inside out. As I passed a giant green stalagmite that was once a spinning rack of bagged chips, I saw her.
Who?
She was sitting on a living, wriggling green throne where the gas station counter used to be. She had a smile
Oh.
on her face, the one that it stole from Yen, and an aura from the floor to ceiling of powerful, verdant green. I was
Hmm.
looking for you, she said in Yen's voice.
Hi.
Where did you go? Sorry. Slipped out of reality for a minute. Where'd I miss? That's a neat trick. Where in the world would you ever go? Why in the world would you ever come back?
But
Well, I was hoping to save my friends.
right.
Have you seen him? As I stood still,
Who-
an
what
untold
the-
number of crawlers
what are
climbed
you?
up my pant legs. I could feel their weight pulling me down like I was being swallowed by quicksand. They escaped,
Step up.
or I never wavering.
Step up.
You should have done. the
Don't
same
be a
thing.
bitch.
No matter. We could always use more food.
Wait, what?
I knew she thought she was telling the truth. I also knew
Hold
Jerry
on.
would never leave
Hold
her
on.
behind.
Now you are not eating me unless I
Listen, Yen. I know you're in there.
enjoy it.
There's no Yen anymore. I know you can hear me. I wanted to tell you something. I'm sure you've probably seen it all a million times. When a dog comes into the shelter and there's nothing that can be done for it and it's suffering, what do? When you can't treat it and you can't save it and you're out of options.
There is never that situation.
The calling of crawlers past my
A
knee.
dog comes in, you can always find a way.
Look, I
There's
just wanna say
always
I'm sorry,
something.
okay?
There's always a solution.
You can do to
There's
hurt me.
never
Oh my
a situation.
God. Your food. Right as my thumb touched the grenade pin, I heard something. At first, I thought it was just another hallucination, but as it grew louder and closer, it seemed.
But no, there is never
concern.
no answer.
Beep,
We can always find something.
beep. What is that? She asked. I realized
Safe.
the answer at the same time. Soon as the garbage truck had backed all the way up to the building and crashed right through the front door, setting chunks of cheap wall and bug spatter all over the place. The shock of
Oh,
the
shit.
fleas,
Here we
swaths
go.
of bugs
Here we
split
go.
from the ceiling, and they fell as a single amorphous unit. The impact nearly doubled the size of the bug pit on the floor. It was deep enough to drown in. I released my grip on the grenade and brushed the clumps of bugs off my head and shoulders. The queen jumped to her feet and walked over to the spot on the floor. A circle cleared the way for her, revealing the clean floor underneath and the baseball bat that she was reaching for. With the weapon in hand,
Hey,
she
guys.
went over to the garbage truck.
You want to see how it
I
ends?
didn't even think before bending down, scooping up a big handful of May crawlers.
Give me a
and
whole
smooshing them in
bunch.
a ball, very reminiscent of a snowball. Some of them skidded up my arms, but most of them stayed intact. I lobbed it as hard as I could, and it